Hello everyone and welcome back. We'll be starting with the name of God, the most beneficent, gracious and merciful. Value of the day. Today we'll be kind of discussing repetition process. It's very important in and, and also common in scientific experiments as well. If we talk about repetition, we have learned about the selection problem and how we can use the if then statement to solve selection problems. Previously, we have covered this topic if then else, which means if this then this. And we have worked on some examples and we have drawn flowchart about what if there is raining. There were two options. If it's raining, then cleaning up the room. If it's not raining, riding a bicycle, which is if then else. So that was just a previous repetition, and now we'll be actually learning about repetition problem arises when we want a computer to do a task again and again. How do we ask the computer to repeat an action, and how do we tell it when to stop? So we can use the following two statements. There are two very important statements which we are going to have a look at. The very first one is the do while statement. The do while statement is a conditional statement, like the if then else statement. It also uses a condition to instruct the computer. The condition might be true or not true. In a do while statement, the computer repeats an action while the condition is true. It repeats an action while the condition is true. And the computer stops repeating the action when condition becomes not true. So let's see how does it work. Actually, we'll be having an algorithm before and then we'll be discussing this flowchart. So algorithm is start treatment, the same example which we have discussed in previous lecture. The doctor is uh, examining a patient and it will be starting treatment. He will be starting treatment at the very first step, as you have seen in the it's written over there in algorithm. Very first step, start treatment. Afterwards, check body temperature. Definitely, if it's fever, you will be checking the body temperature, which is the input of the flow chart as well, and our program as well. Then continue treatment if temperature is greater than 37 degrees centigrade. This is the condition which is implying on that 37 degrees centigrade should be the uh, normal temperature for the body, and if it's greater than 37, then he needs to continue the same treatment for the patient, whatever he is doing, and he needs to stop treatment if temperature is not greater than 37 degrees centigrade. Definitely, if the patient's condition is normal, back to normal, definitely he needs to stop the treatment. And the last step is end treatment. Over here, as you can see the flow chart, the very first step start. Start is your start treatment. Then it will be going, as you can see the arrow is pointing towards the input. Input body temperature over here, it's body temperature, that is the input of the flow chart. Then it's going to the next stage, which is the condition, and it's a kind of mm, diamond shape, and it's actually deciding between if the condition is true or not true. If the temperature is greater than 37, the program and this flow chart needs to decide if the temperature is greater than 37. Definitely, the condition is true and it needs to go to the sideways, which is continue treatment. The temperature is still high, it needs to continue the treatment and then back towards input body temperature. After treatment, giving the patient the specific pills, it will be taking the input of the body temperature again. And as far as this uh, loop will be continuing and this step will be under this repetition as far as the temperature of the body is greater than 37. This is the whole loop which will be keep on repeating again and again, and it will be stopped when once the temperature is not greater than 37, which is the condition is not true, and then it will be stopped. This is actually the do while statement. We'll be having another example of it, but afterwards. The second statement which we are uh, discussing today is repeat until statement. The previous statement which we have seen, it was do while statement. Now repeat until statement. Repeat until statement is also a conditional statement. Fine. However, in a repeat until statement, the computer repeats an action as long as the condition is not true. It repeats an action as long as the condition is not true. In the previous example, you have seen it that was working till the condition was true. Now it's the opposite, exact opposite of the previous statement. The do while statement and repeat until statements are exact opposite of each other. It keeps on repeating the action as long as the condition is not true. In other words, the computer repeats an action until the condition becomes true. It stops repeating the action when the condition becomes true. No need to be confused at this point. We'll be having another example. Actually, it depends upon the situation on which you are working. Which statement to be used, you will be looking at the exact situation, and then you need to decide which statement will be suitable for any specific condition. So over here we'll be having, if the thing is to be done like this, the start treatment is the same start treatment. Observe patient's appearance and manner. The doctor is still observing the patient's appearance and manner, and then prescribing vitamins, pills if patient does not show signs of physical strength. Fine, it's keep on repeating the same methodology, and stop prescribing vitamin pills if patient shows sign of physical strength. Right, that is the opposite of that condition. Previously, the condition was not true and temperature was high, and it was keep on repeating the steps. Now it is opposite to it. How is it working? Let's see. The start will be the starting of the treatment. Then it goes to prescribe vitamin pills. It is prescribing the vitamin pills to the patient. Now vitamin pills, he'll be looking at the effect of the vitamin pills on the body. Observe patient's appearance and manner. uh, Doctor is examining patient's appearance and manner, and then it will be deciding patient shows signs of physical strength. The previous two, the pink color boxes are inputs, and then this green box, which is the diamond shape, is telling you that, and it's deciding that patient shows the sign of physical strength, which means um, if it's not true, means if the patient is not showing the signs of physical strength, then the condition is not true, and the loop is going backwards, and prescribe vitamin pills again. Different vitamin pills will be um, um, the doctor will be checking different vitamin pills, and then again he will be repeating observe patient's appearance and manner. Then again he will be checking if the patient is showing signs of physical strength or not. If he's still not showing the strength, then he will be repeating the same process again until the patient shows signs of physical strength, and then the condition will be true, which the doctor wants from a patient. And if the patient is fine, perfect, fine, then this condition is true, and our loop will be end over here. This is actually the repeat until statement. We'll be having two more examples of these two loops. The very first loop which we have discussed today was actually do while loop, and the next we have seen was repeat until. Another example for do while loop we are discussing right now, in which another scenario or internal working of computer, you can say. How can we tell a computer to repeat the action, and how can we apply this do while loop in our programming? If you get the idea behind that, the logic going on behind this loop, you will be very easily making programs. Small programs will be very easy for you to make. So do while loop, again, start. We need to start the program as in a usual manner and then enter a number. It can be any number. Add the number to itself, and then fine, add the number to itself. Whatever the number is, add it to itself. And then check the total. It's checking the total and then continue adding the total according to step 3. If the total is less than or equal to 100, if total is less than or equal to 100, stop addition if the condition is greater than 100. If the total is greater than 100, stop addition. Otherwise, keep on adding these two numbers. Whatever the result is coming, keep it adding to the number itself. Means the first number, if a user enters a number 2, okay, fine, number 2 will be added to itself. Add the number to itself, 2 plus 2. Check the total, it's 4 now. Continue adding the total according to step 3. Means 4, the answer was 4 and it will be added to 4 itself according to step 3. And if the total is less than or equal to 100, it will be checking if the number is going till 100. Means 4 plus 4 is 16, that 16 plus 16 is 32, and it will be going on repeating the same process. 32 plus 32, 64, and then again it will be adding 64 plus 64, which is 128. Now it will be stopping its action. It will stop its action at once the answer is above 100. It needs to stop there. So stop addition if the total is greater than 100, and then end. Over here, flowchart, start, definitely input number n. And now n can be any numbers. It's not a must that it's 2. It can be 3, it can be 5, it can be 7, it can be 20, whatever the number is. It will be taking the input as n. That number is, in my example, for instance, it's 2. So add n plus n, which is 2 plus 2, and then save it in m. This m is actually the answer. You need to give it's called variable. You need to write any kind of variable over here, n plus n, and then save it in any number, any constant, which is m over here. You can write q, you can write l, z, o, whatever, fine. But make sure if you are writing m, then its total m is equals to smaller than 100. Over here in total, you need to write the same constant. As I have written m, you will be writing m. If you have written a, you will be writing total a. As you have written a. So total m is equals to smaller than 100, which means it is deciding. Now it's deciding if the n plus n was going till 64, it was fine. Fine means the condition was true and the number was smaller than 100. So it will be repeating the action total m is equals to n, condition is true, and it's saving its total m in n, which is again it will be adding it. If the number is 64 over here, it will be again adding it. Add n plus n, which is 64 plus 64, and save it in m, which is 128, and it will be checking total m, which is 128, and now is equals to smaller than 100. 128 is not smaller than 100 or equal to 100. Definitely, it needs to stop repeating the action, and now condition is not true, and it's ending over here. Once the answer is 128, it will be stopped working. This is kind of a small program. We'll be actually learning how to make programs in GW Basic as well. The next statement which we are today discussing, it's not actually the next statement, it's the same statement which I have discussed with you with the patient's temperature, um, and its his physical appearance and manner. If we apply it on computers, it will be changed into something like this. Repeat until loop. Okay, fine. Start. Now we'll be playing with numbers. So what can we do? Start. The program will be starting. Enter a number, any number. Add the number to itself. Fine. Add the number to itself. It can be 2 plus 2 or whatever. Check the total. Again, checking the total. Continue adding the total according to step 3. If the total is less than 100, fine. It's the condition which is not the same as the previous one. In previous example, it was actually equal than 100, equal and smaller than 100. Now it's telling you if it's greater than 100, stop addition if the total is greater than 100. It's totally up to you how are you using it. If you want to stop your program and at the step in which m is greater than 100, if you want to stop it, okay, you just putting your repeat until statement loop and condition is not true, it will be repeating, and once it's true, it will be ending. Stop addition if the total is greater than 100 and end. Over here, start and then input number which is n, 2 plus 2, adding 2 plus 2 which is 4, and this 4 is greater than 100. No, it's not greater than 100. Not true. इधर चला जाए at this side, which is the left side. Now m is equals to n. Definitely 4 is not greater than 100. It's repeating the action, and then n plus n, which is 4 plus 4 again 16. 16. It will be checking still smaller, smaller, and then again 16 plus 16, 32. Again this loop, and then 64 again this loop, and it will be stop working once the condition is true. If the number is greater than 100, it will be stop repeating the action and then end. So this is how the repeat until loop works for you. That's all from today. Thank you so much for watching. And do subscribe. Actually, it's encouragement for us. It keeps us working. Thank you.